Imagine having one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. You're Batman, you're Iceman, you're Jim Morrison. Then suddenly you lose your voice forever. How does a man who once ruled the screen with his voice, presence, and charm survive when his very identity is taken away? Val Kilmer's name carries the echo of 80s and 90s cinema. He wasn't just an actor, he was the actor. Handsome, mysterious, and undeniably talented. From being the smug yet magnetic Iceman in Top Gun, to embodying rock icon Jim Morrison with eerie authenticity in The Doors, Kilmer carved a legacy most actors only dream of. But that spotlight came at a cost. Fame, as it often does, exposed the cracks behind the mask. As his star burned bright, his personal world began to fracture. What followed was a spiral of health battles, Hollywood exile, and an emotional fight for identity, culminating in one of the most emotional comebacks the film world has ever seen. In this video, we'll unravel Val Kilmer's entire life journey, from a Shakespeare-obsessed theater kid to one of Hollywood's most talked-about stars, and the devastating silence that followed. We'll uncover his rise, his fall, and the unexpected road back to relevance. You'll see rare insights into his off-screen battles, the controversial choices that derailed his career, and how, even after losing his voice, he found a way to speak louder than ever before. Val Edward Kilmer was born on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles, California. His upbringing was anything but typical. Raised in the sun-soaked suburbs of LA, Kilmer found himself drawn not to the flash of Hollywood, but to the stage. Tragedy struck early when his younger brother, Wesley, died in a drowning accident. It was a loss that haunted Val for years, a deep emotional wound that subtly shaped his quiet intensity on screen. Even as a teenager, Val exuded charisma. At just 17, he became the youngest student accepted into the prestigious Juilliard School's drama division. While others his age were figuring out college, Kilmer was mastering Shakespeare. He wasn't just passionate about acting, he was obsessed with becoming great. And for a while, that laser focus paid off. His early stage work was praised, but Hollywood was calling. It wasn't long before he landed his first breakout role in the parody film Top Secret, 1984, where his comedic timing and natural presence stood out. But it was 1986's Top Gun that made him a household name. As Iceman, Kilmer delivered a performance that was equal parts cool and commanding. He didn't need to say much. His eyes did the talking. Suddenly, Val Kilmer was everywhere. After Top Gun, the doors of Hollywood swung wide open. But Kilmer didn't chase fame the way other actors did. He was selective. He turned down major roles, including parts in Blue Velvet and even Dirty Dancing. He was chasing art, not attention. That pursuit led to critically acclaimed performances in films like Willow, Tombstone, where he played a hauntingly brilliant Doc Holliday, and The Doors, which remains one of his most transformative performances to date. To become Jim Morrison, Kilmer spent months mimicking the rock star's voice, mannerisms, and even recorded a full album of Doors covers, some of which were indistinguishable from Morrison's original vocals. It wasn't acting, it was embodiment. Yet even at the height of his acclaim, a different story was unfolding behind the scenes. Directors and co-stars began to describe Kilmer as difficult, intense, and method to a fault. Rumors of on-set clashes and perfectionism began to overshadow his performances. His reputation became a double-edged sword. He was brilliant, but high maintenance. Then came Batman Forever, 1995. Donning the cape and cowl was supposed to be a crowning achievement, a career-defining moment, but the experience was miserable. Kilmer clashed with director Joel Schumacher and found the suit so restrictive he could barely act. He left the franchise after just one film, walking away from what could have been a multi-film cash cow. Why? Because he said it made him feel more like a prop than a performer. By the early 2000s, Kilmer's career was no longer on fire. It was simmering. He still delivered strong performances, like in The Salton Sea and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But the blockbuster offers slowed. He turned to indie films and personal projects, including one-man plays and spiritual journeys through the Southwest. And then, the silence. In 2014, fans began to notice something was wrong. Kilmer looked thinner. he was quieter. Rumors swirled. It wasn't until 2015 that he confirmed he was battling throat cancer. The diagnosis was grim. He underwent a tracheostomy that altered his voice and left him barely able to speak above a whisper. For an actor who made a career with words, losing his voice was a cruel irony. But Kilmer didn't vanish. He transformed. Here's where it gets unbelievable. Just when everyone thought Val Kilmer's Hollywood story had ended, he came back, and not in the way anyone expected. 2021 marked a quietly powerful turning point in Val Kilmer's life. Not just a return, but a rebirth. That year, Amazon Prime released Val, a raw, intimate, and deeply emotional documentary that took viewers inside the life of a man Hollywood had nearly forgotten. But what made Val so unique wasn't just its subject. It was how personal it felt. Nearly every frame was captured by Kilmer himself over 4 decades, from early theater rehearsals to behind-the-scenes moments on blockbuster sets, to quiet reflections in his later years. It was all there, told not through interviews but through his own lens. This wasn't a polished memoir. It was a vulnerable confession. Audiences didn't see Val Kilmer the actor. They saw Val Kilmer the man, the son, the father, the artist, the survivor. The film didn't flinch from showing the toll cancer had taken on him. The surgeries, the altered voice, the emotional scars. And yet, beneath all that loss, the fire that had once lit up the big screen still burned. His spirit, though bruised, was alive, determined to be heard, even if he had to whisper through machines to do it. The documentary struck a chord with audiences and critics alike. It was brave, honest, heartbreaking, and it reminded everyone of what made Val Kilmer special in the first place. Not just his talent, but his soul. And then came Top Gun, Maverick in 2022, a film years in the making, carrying the weight of nostalgia and expectations. Fans were excited to see Tom Cruise return as Maverick, but there was one lingering question. Would Iceman return? And if so, how? When he appeared on screen, it wasn't just a cameo, it was a moment. Val Kilmer's return as Iceman was brief but deeply moving. He didn't need flashy dialogue or dramatic action, just presence. In one quiet, emotional scene between Iceman and Maverick, art and reality blurred. Kilmer, speaking through his real-life condition, struggled to get his words out, and that struggle hit like a punch to the chest. "It's time to let go," he tells Maverick. But those words echoed far beyond the film. It was Val, the man, speaking to his past, to his pain, to the audience. That single scene became one of the most talked about moments in the movie. Fans and critics alike were stunned by its emotional weight. Kilmer's voice may have changed, but his power hadn't. In just a few lines, he delivered one of the most meaningful performances of his career.
Get the attention you deserve with a custom neon sign. We offer handmade neon signs. Our process is simple. Visit our website, glonio.com, and click Custom Neon Builder for an on-demand experience. Start typing your custom text, choose a font, color, and size. We will handle the rest by handcrafting your LED neon. We also produce high-quality neons to match your business logo by completing the form on our Business Neons page.
It wasn't just a return to the screen, it was a triumph of resilience. Proof that even after unimaginable loss, Val Kilmer could still move millions. What makes Val Kilmer's story so powerful isn't just the fame or the roles he played. It's what he endured when the cameras stopped rolling. He faced death, lost his voice, was nearly forgotten by the industry he once dominated, and still found a way to tell his story. In the documentary Val, he says, "I've lived a magical life, and I've captured quite a bit of it." And indeed he has. Through highs and lows, Val Kilmer has shown what it means to fight not for fame, but for self-expression. Whether reciting Shakespeare on stage or whispering a line through a damaged throat, he reminds us that the soul of a performer doesn't live in the voice, it lives in the spirit. Val Kilmer isn't just an actor. He's a poet, a survivor, an artist in every sense of the word. From the ice-cold confidence of Iceman to the haunting madness of Jim Morrison, from the unrecognizable voice to the brave vulnerability in Val, his journey tells us that true legends are not defined by their peak, but by how they rise after the fall. His story is about resilience, reinvention, and the power of the human spirit when everything, even the voice, is taken away. If Val Kilmer's journey moved you, hit that like button and let us know your favorite performance of his in the comments below. Was it Tombstone, The Doors, Batman, or maybe his powerful return in Top Gun, Maverick? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of icons who changed the world of film forever. Because behind every legend, there's a story waiting to be told.